Hello. All right. Just in time. There's Sherlock. All right. So the secret, I think, to doing super assembly line sewing, which is what we're going to be doing with this jelly roll, is having everything lined up and ready to go. So I've got these in the groups of 4. So there's 5 each. There's 4 groups of 5. Sorry. And then I've got the one that I want to sew next is on top. And then I've got it just overlapping the next one, just overlapping the next one, just overlapping the next one, just overlapping the next one. So these are ready to go. I'll sew the first one and then I'll do the second. See what I mean? Assembly lines. Yes, yes. Speedy, speedy, speed up. This is one of those things that will help speed up. All right, let's sew. Thank you, Sherlock. So our first one we're going to sew the tails to the tail. So this tail will go to this tail. I want to put them, I'm going to do the diagonal thing where I've got one on top of the other. And I'm going to get these lined up. Let's go on here. Okay. Put it on here. New fabric does not want to move. Okay, so I'm going to sew, from here to here. So there we go. And then we'll have those together, and then we'll go ahead and do the rest of the 5. So the next one is in the pile. So we got the white. To the white. Or white, bright white blue actually. Alright, so we're going to have to set it down so we can do that. Now I'm not trimming. I'm just lifting the foot up a little bit so I can get that needle right there in the corner. Okay, maybe not. Okay. So we're going to do the red of the red. Right sides together. Now I got a little bit, you can see I'm hanging off at the ends, so that's actually the selvage edge. See if you can see that top one a little bit more, so you can see the holes in the top. So that's the selvage. The other one's got the white on there, so that's really easy to see. But the selvage is on both sides because they really when they do these jelly rolls, they fold the fabric in half as they're taking it off the bowl the same way, and then they just 2.5 inches. Choop, choop, choop. Fifth one in this particular group. I had it and then we didn't. Got these together. I want to keep the order. I'm just going to do the diagonal cut on this to take away those corners, and then that opens that one up. So that's the first one. Next one is this one. Snip it. Not trimming too close, but like that. Open it up. the second one. Next is the red from the center. Oh, look at this red, it's gorgeous. Red. And this red, white, and blue one goes next to it. So the next part I'm going to do is iron those open. So let's do that next. All right, go ahead and ironed all these open. And then we've got this last one. And then just let the iron open it up. So there we go. So that's the order. Okay, so the next one is we're gonna sew this long piece. So we started off with 42 inches, now we're 84. And we're gonna sew this one, this long seam, to this long seam. Can you take the selvage off? Yeah, we can do that. We can do that now or we can do it later. I'll do it later. Okay. Sew these to each other. So this is number 3 and number 4. I'm just going to keep going. so I'm going to go ahead and iron these open before we do the next, before we sew another piece on. All right, so as we get on here, so we've got two fabrics. We got a kind of white looking one and a not as white looking one. And what we're going to do, what's important is I'm going to fold this way so that the white doesn't have anything behind it, or the whitish fabric doesn't have anything behind it. That'll make the batting look better, and you won't have this dark. See if we got some sun up here so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. See how that makes it? Well, there you go. So you see how you can see underneath on this side with the sun? It would look kind of like that. That's why when we're doing white fabrics, we press that way, and then you don't see it as much. You can still see it from here, but after you get the white on there, you won't see the underneath the darker color. So that's how we iron. And I'm just letting the iron open it as we're going. Little circles. And might be better for a lot closer, huh? All right, gotta remember, irons bite. So I mean that as they burn. You want to be really careful. If you're not quite set up, pause, pay close attention to what you're doing so you don't get burned, which does happen. Oh, there we go. Must be a bird in the yard. Must be a bird in the yard. All right. Looking good. Looking really good. Put you guys over here. This next closer. All right, so we got a lighter and a darker color. So we're gonna, again, the darker color is gonna be the one that hides the fabric flop over underneath. Like, here we go. There we got water. Sometimes when I leave the iron on for a while, I go through water faster. And I like using distilled water in my iron. You don't have to always use distilled water. I think it makes it nicer because the iron never does hard water poops, if you will, on my quilts or my sewing. Hard water will do that. And it makes your iron last longer, I think. There's probably a study out there somewhere that talks about that, but I think it does. And distilled water is cheap. It's cheap, cheap, cheap. Not bottled water, distilled water. You want to make sure you get all the hard, salty, high alkalinity water salts that are in people's water. All right, so we're ironed open. We got the red. The red's going to be in the center. That's our signature fabric on this particular block. And then we will sew the blue on. So let's get the blue on. So the red is in the center on the layout that I did on this particular block. I'm going to kind of line, so I got a tail on the longer one. I'm going to go ahead and line it up kind of with the shorter one so that if we're short on the other side, it's not too bad. One of these is going to be shorter, but that doesn't matter. It'll all work out. Okay, let's get you lined up. There we go. There we go. Okay, so we got the blue on. And run it to the two. sewed, so it's time to iron. Oh, oh, there, look at this. Even from far away, you can see that's so gorgeous. So gorgeous. Woo! Wow. Wow. Oh, let me pick up some beautiful fabric. Excuse me. Look at this. Woo. See how nice these look together? Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Ooh. All right. So the center is going to be the red, and that goes with the white. So we need to be, which way? This way? Yeah. All right. So we're going to sew our number 1 and 2 next to 3, 4, and 5. Lined up or not? Go. Okay. All right. Pedal to the metal. Woo-hoo. Oh, this is going to be so patriotic. So patriotic. Look at. Look at these together. Look at that. Oh my goodness, don't they look great together? All right, next part is ironing. So we have these opened up and they look like this. And now what I'm going to do is just give it an extra super pressure. And I am going to add all kinds of spray distilled water just to really get it nice and flat. Extra opening in those seams. Get my rails nice and straight because they need to be super straight for the next part we're going to be doing. What's up, Sherlock? What are you hearing? What's up, Bubbles? Is that loud? How loud is it? Is it really bad? Is there birds? There's birds. Might be my wonderful neighbors making some noise for you, huh? Could be. Could be. I don't know. Sewing under the influence of a corgi. So my spray bottle, I have it on mist. misty. Instead of squirting it so it's drenched. Oop. There you go. Hang on. Let's get that back again. All right. It's flat. It's gorgeous. And it's leaking water. That's weird. Okay. All right. Looking like this. So we did a 42 next to a 42, sewed those together, and now we've got an 84-inch long, super, super, super long little tiny skinny blanket that won't cover anything. All right, let's hang you up. So I'm going to do exactly, well, here, let me just put that down. So I've got 3 more of those. I'm going to do that exact same thing that I did for these 5 to those other 3 groups. So, all right, the second group is pressed open. So they look like this. This is how they're going to go together. All right. Oh my goodness. We got barking going on. All right, so we got the second group sewn together, and they look like this. Woo. Progress, progress. All right, we got group 3 of 4, and these are the ones that went together with this one, and this is the one that had those 2 that were really, really, really different. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. All right, now I gotta sew them together. And here we are with the 4th one. So this is all sewn together. Don't these look great together? Look at this. This red just makes everything else pop. Woohoo! Woohoo! All right. Now we go on to the next stage. What is that going to be? We've sewn these long, long things that are too long for a blanket. Are we going to be doing some snipping? Well, if you've seen my videos before, you know the answer is yes. Yes, let's do some cutting.